Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Elgin Martinez, coming to you with another informative video. This video is going to be about the 7 legally acceptable grounds to file for a divorce in New York. Number 1, the irretrievable breakdown in relationship for a period of at least 6 months. This grounds is usually called a no-fair divorce. A no-fault divorce. To use this ground, ladies and gentlemen, the marriage must have been over for at least 6 months. And all economic issues, including debt, how the marital property will be divided, and the custody and support of the children have been settled. Number 2, cruelty and inhumane treatment. Cruelty and inhumane treatment. To use this ground, the judge will be looking for specific acts of cruelty that happened in the last 5 years. It is not enough that you and your spouse had arguments or did not get along. The cruelty must rise to the level that the plaintiff is physically or mentally in danger, and it is unsafe or improper for the plaintiff to continue living with the defendant. Third is abandonment, ladies and gentlemen. To use this ground, the spouse must have abandoned the plaintiff for at least 1 year or more. 2 examples of abandonment: where the spouse physically leaves the home without any intention of returning, where the spouse refuses to have sex with the other spouse. This is called constructive abandonment, ladies and gentlemen. Number 4 is imprisonment. To use this ground, the spouse must have been in prison for 3 or more years in a row. The spouse must have been put in prison after the marriage began. The plaintiff can use this ground while the spouse is in prison, or up to 5 years after the spouse was released from prison, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5, adultery. To use this ground, ladies and gentlemen, the plaintiff must show that the spouse committed adultery during marriage. This ground can be hard to prove because evidence from someone besides the plaintiff and spouse is needed. Number 6, divorce after a legal separation agreement. To use this grounds, the plaintiff and defendant sign and file a valid separation agreement and live apart for about a year. The separation agreement must have specific requirements included to be valid. Number 7, divorce after a judgment of separation. This ground is not used very often, ladies and gentlemen. To use this ground, the Supreme Court draws up a judgment of separation and the married couples live apart for 1 year. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Elgin Martinez, coming to you again with another informative video. This video is going to be about the 7 grounds that are legally accepted in New York in order to file a divorce. Basically, what I'm going to do is explain each ground individually. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, the first ground is irretrievable breakdown in relationship for a period of at least 6 months. This ground is usually called a no-fault divorce. To use this ground, ladies and gentlemen, the marriage must be over for at least 6 months, and all economic issues, including debt, how the marital property will be divided, and custody and support of the children have been settled. Number 2, cruel and inhumane treatment. To use this ground, the judge will be looking for a specific act of cruelty that happened in the last 5 years. It is not enough that you and your spouse had argument or did not get along. The cruelty must rise to the level that the plaintiff is physically or mentally in danger, and it is unsafe or improper for the plaintiff to continue living with the defendant. Number 3, abandonment. To use this ground, ladies and gentlemen, the spouse must have abandoned the plaintiff for at least 1 year or more. 2 examples of abandonment, ladies and gentlemen, is where the spouse physically leaves the home without any intention of returning, or where the spouse refuses to have sex with the other spouse. This is called constructive abandonment. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, is imprisonment. To use this ground, the spouse must have been in prison for 3 or more years in a row. The spouse must have been put into prison after the marriage began. The plaintiff can use this ground while the spouse is in prison, or up to 5 years after the spouse was released from prison. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen, number 5, ladies and gentlemen, is abandonment. Is adultery. To use this ground, ladies and gentlemen, the plaintiff must show that the spouse committed adultery during the marriage. This ground can be hard to prove, ladies and gentlemen, because evidence from someone besides the plaintiff and the spouse is needed. Number 6, divorce after a legal separation agreement. To use this ground, the plaintiff and defendant sign and file a valid separation agreement and live apart for 1 year. The separation agreement must have specific requirements included to be valid. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, divorce after judgment or separation. This ground is not used very often. To use this ground, ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court draws up a judgment of separation and the married couple live apart for 1 year. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.